Hey guys, Furtado here, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the factors that can affect bone remodeling. All right, we're going to talk about three major factors. We're going to talk about minerals, we're going to talk about vitamins, and we're going to talk a little bit about hormones, although we will be talking about hormones more later when we specifically focus on homeostasis. So there are two major minerals that are required for bone remodeling all the time. And we have calcium and phosphorus, those two. Now, when we talk about calcium, we also have to talk about some of the vitamins because one of our vitamins, vitamin D, helps us to be able to absorb more calcium from our intestinal system, our gastrointestinal system. So we need that calcium. We get it from many different foods. We get it from dairies, which can include your milks and your cheeses. But we also get it from dark leafy greens, spinach, kales, broccoli, things like that. Phosphorus we get from proteins. Speaking of, it's my lunch break. I have some ham here. So I'm working on, that's pretty good. I grilled it. I'm working on getting some of that phosphorus by eating proteins. That means, hang on, I shouldn't talk while I'm chewing. All of the different forms of proteins. That does mean meat, like my lunch. That means fish, beans, nuts. All those things give us phosphorus. So phosphorus and calcium, they affect bone remodeling and bone growth because they're both parts of the minerals that make up bone. Remember, calcium phosphate is 2/3 of your bone's weight. So that's always going to be needed when we talk about minerals. When we talk about vitamins, there's several vitamins that we need. We need vitamin A. Vitamin A is going to be helpful and responsible for making sure that our osteoblasts are working. It helps to stimulate osteoblast work. And then we're going to need vitamin C. That's needed for helping us to synthesize collagen fibers. Collagen fibers are a part of our bone as well, a part of that process that we talked about with fracture repair, actually. So when we talk about remodeling, collagen is really important for that. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is really important because vitamin D is what helps us absorb calcium after we eat it from our gastrointestinal system. And then vitamin K and vitamin B12. Vitamin K and vitamin B12, and they're important because they're going to help us to build bone proteins that we need. So how do we get all these different vitamins? Let's start with, I should do them in order. Vitamin A is going to be carrots, cabbage, leafy vegetables for the most part, and I'm just giving you a small list of things you can find these in. Vitamin C, that's your C for citrus, your fruits, a lot of your citrus fruits and other fruits, but a lot of your fruits are going to be vitamin C. What was the next? Vitamin D. Vitamin D is going to be fish and eggs and the sun, fish and eggs and the sun, things like that. Vitamin K is going to be proteins, meats. Actually, it's going to be in tomatoes. And it's going to be in lettuce, that's vitamin K. Vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is going to be meats, proteins, again, lots of meats and proteins, milk, eggs. So basically, if you eat a roundabout healthy diet that has fruits, vegetables, and meats, carbs, lipids, and proteins, you should be getting all of these things that you need. So those are the minerals and the vitamins. Last thing that affects bone growth is hormones. So first, I want to talk about estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen and testosterone are found in all of us. Larger levels of estrogen in females, larger levels of testosterone in males. They are really important when your growth spurts are happening. So in the teenage years, when you have those growth spurts that occur, that's where they probably have their most dramatic effect. They continue to have effect later on in adulthood, because one of the things that they do is as you get older, they help in slowing the rate of resorption. Okay, slowing the rate of resorption, which we have talked about. And they do that because they will stimulate apoptosis, which we've talked about, which is the programmed death of cells. And estrogen helps to stimulate apoptosis specifically of osteoclasts. So if we slow down osteoclast work, or the production of and the existence of osteoclasts, then we will naturally also slow down bone resorption, which will keep us from losing bone mass as we get older. So that's one of the things that estrogen does as well. I'm going to mention here our calcitonin, thyroid hormone calcitonin, and our parathyroid hormone from the parathyroid. Okay, we will hit those more heavily in homeostasis, but those are two other hormones that also affect bone growth and bone remodeling. So there you have it. On to the next one.